Hey everyone, let's see how this turns out. I'm gonna put this shit away while I talk. I'm gonna try not to use the words like so. Anyways, but yeah, I don't like these filler words. I don't like hearing them, but I know I personally say them and it really bothers me. So it's something I'm gonna try and work on. I want to share why I chose to stop drinking. The book I read said to pay things forward, and by paying things forward, the best way you could do that is by sharing your story. So I'm not sure if this is actually going to impact anybody or if it's going to do any good. I just thought it would be helpful to let people know why I did this, because I feel like there's a lot of nosy ass bitches out there that really want to like talk about this. Just kidding. Let's take you back to March 8th. I find some $5 spring training tickets, and y'all know from the spring training that prices have gone up significantly in the past like 10 years. They used to be dirt cheap, sometimes for free, but now they are running around like $20-$30 a seat, which is fucking ridiculous. But I found some for $5 and I was like, ooh, okay, let me invite the crew and see what we can do as far as, sitting out on the lawn, having a couple drinks, just hanging out, enjoying a spring training game. I get the bros and ask them if they want to go. Only one is able to make it, so I'm like, whatever. I always end up buying before I actually ask people. So I had a set of 4 tickets. Let me get some more light in here, maybe you can see me better. I get 4 tickets. It's me and my buddy Nick. This already started off like on a bad foot because I just recently bought some cans of wine, and I thought, when you go to concerts and you go to a sporting game, there is that like stop and go traffic to find a parking spot. Well, that's what I was thinking in my head. I was like, okay, well, when I get to this point where we have to like literally sit in traffic for 30 minutes, I can just have like a can of wine before I go, and let's pregame. Already off to a bad idea, since I'm not technically drinking and driving, but I am. It is drinking and driving when you're actively drinking and driving and operating a vehicle. So, I had a can of wine before the game. And then once I get inside, the first thing I see on my left is a cart that is selling booze. And it's already kind of hot outside. I'm sweating already. We have lawn seats, so you're gonna be in the sunlight. You're gonna be hot. So a frozen margarita or a frozen strawberry daiquiri looked really, really good. So I decided to get a strawberry daiquiri, and the bartender, being an excellent bartender that she should be doing, recommended I get a double. And I'm like, you know what? That sounds good. Let's get a double. So can of wine, double strawberry daiquiri in my belly, in my mouth. And sit down, and I swear within like 15 minutes that drink was gone, because not only was it hot as balls outside, it melted almost immediately, and we were in the sun. And then we go and get more beer. I'm not sure if it was this time around or the second time around that I was double fisting. I know somewhere between the 5th and 6th inning, I was on my phone and I saw this post that really upset me. I'm not sure how honest I want to get into this. I'm not sure I'm ready to reveal this yet. It's a lot of childhood trauma and childhood issues, teenage issues. But I saw this picture and it just really like cut me deep, and I almost started crying, but I was just like, at that point, I was like, fuck this, I'm getting shit-faced, and decided to get another round of drinks, and from the 6th inning on, I don't remember much. The next thing I know, I'm in a Sprouts shopping for taquitos for my brother, who never even asked for taquitos. And I end up calling him. Thank God I called him. I was mad at the moment. It was a dumb decision at the moment, but I'm really helpful. I'm really grateful that I did. Called him and I asked him, like, what kind of taquitos do you want? And he's like, what do you mean? You know, like, I'm gonna get you some taquitos. Like, tell me what kind you want. These are the ones I see right now. And he's like, I'm good. I'll talk to you later. And then we hang up, and then he immediately lets my mom know, like, hey, I just talked to Ashley. She didn't sound good. I think you might have to go get her. And then she called me, and she's fucking pissed. She's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm at I'm at Sprouts getting taquitos. And I think obviously the way I sounded was really drunk. And she's like, well, how'd you get there? And I'm like, I drove. Like, I know what I'm doing. I'm good. And she's just so fucking pissed. I think I remember parts of the conversation, but I really don't. And she's like, well, stay there. Don't go anywhere. And she's pissed. So I'm like, all right, whatever. Flash forward, I'm in the parking lot, ready to get in my car, or at least put the food in my car or whatever I got at Sprouts. And she luckily drives up and she's like, get the fuck in the car. And I already knew I was in deep, deep trouble. Next thing I know, I wake up in my bed. I can't remember if I still have on my clothes. Typically when I get drunk, I'm good at like washing my face and putting on all my pajamas and things like that. But I know like nights I get really, really shit-faced, I pass out in what I'm wearing. But I don't really remember what happened. But you know, when you wake up and you kind of try and recall your night, and little pieces are coming back here and there. Like I remember doing the 7th inning stretch. I remember getting a big ass thing of White Claw at last call. Like, why don't we fucking like last call is like, oh my God, we gotta get all the booze, we gotta get shots, we gotta get this, we gotta get, like, why do we do that? I don't understand. I remember that. Yeah, and then my buddy Nick said, like, you know, when I told him this later on, like how shit-faced I was, like I drove and stuff like that, he's like, you seemed fine. So I don't know. I honestly, for me, I woke up and I'm just like, how did I get home? And then I remembered Sprouts, and then I remembered my mom being mad, and I'm just like, who is this person? Like, I'm not a person that drinks and drives. Like, I'm very responsible. I know what I'm doing 99% of the time. So this act of me, it's just so scary how I was able to get from the spring training game to Sprouts without killing myself, killing anyone else, getting in a car accident. I physically cannot remember driving at all. And that is so scary. That was the scariest part. And that is why I told myself, okay, this is it. Like, this is the moment where you need to remove yourself, remove this thing from your life before it does turn into that, or you do kill somebody. You kill yourself, you kill your friends. Like, oh, like thinking back on it now, it's just so crazy to think of that. And And then I realized, like, you know, what kind of set me off in the terms of, like, you know, let's fuck it, I'm getting shit-faced. And I realized I'm addressing negative things in a negative fashion, and I need to learn how to respond to these negative things without reaching for alcohol. Like, you know, at the end of a stressful day, let's, you know, I don't know why we go towards these things, like, I'll have a glass of wine to relax, or I don't know, it's just really weird how we turn to this thing that's like not good for us at all to help us cope. And that is something I really had to think about and step back from. And that kind of started this whole journey. At first I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take a break for like 30 days, see what happens. And then it turned into like maybe 90 days, and then it turned into maybe 6 months, and here we are now, a day away from 300 days. It's kind of crazy. I think once I realized, you know, I'm still harboring all this trauma in my head, and I haven't addressed it in my head, and I need to figure this shit out before I even try and like touch this thing that is like not good for me. So that's when I went and sought out a therapist, and we started working through like these issues that I've been burying deep down below and kind of covering up with alcohol. And it's kind of fucked up right now because my therapist went to live in Germany back in July, August. So technically I really haven't had a therapist since, like a regular therapist, and I'm kind of pissed about it that I haven't really like worked through this shit. I was barely scraping the surface of some of it. But luckily I realized, you know, this is it. You need to stop. We need to reevaluate this. And I'm kind of happy that it happened, because I was kind of already in this mindset of like, I need to stop, or I need to cut back at the very least. And, you know, we always have those days where we wake up and we're like, I'm never drinking like that again. But then the next weekend, there we are, Q Club, having trash cans or whatever they're called. And I did really notice once after my 30s, or once I turned 30, that my hangover, like I actually got hangovers. I wasn't honestly getting hangovers until my 30s. Like there was once in a while when I went a little too hard and I got a major hangover, but besides that, I wasn't really getting much of them until my 30s. And they were terrible, and they're not fun. I didn't like, you know, drinking a bottle of water and then throwing it up 5 minutes later. Like, that's not good. That's your body telling you you should stop putting this poison in yourself. Like, that's your body's natural reaction to this poison you're putting in your body. Like, I'm trying not to paint it in that way, like, because I know I do like beer. I'm still in this like weird thing of like, I like beer, I like the taste of beer, but like the reason why I like the taste of beer is because I built up a tolerance to it. Like, it's just so crazy because, you know, like your first drink or your first shot, you're like, like, I don't like that. And then some people are like, you just gotta build a tolerance to it. You have to build a taste to it. And it's like, while you're building that taste to it, you're also telling your body that you need more of it in order to enjoy it. Does that make sense? Like, it's so weird that we do that, like, because it's us with like being like, that tastes disgusting, is our body's natural defense saying, this is bad, don't drink this. We still do it. Like, it's mind-boggling. But maybe later on when I'm ready, I will address what exactly upset me. But I already know, like, my close friends already know why. My family, I think, knows why. It's just, I think it's something I'm gonna have to work up to eventually to reveal. But then those are the main reasons why I decided to like step back and reevaluate and figure out if I truly can control alcohol or if alcohol is just gonna control me. And I'm gonna give it a year. So we're gonna come up here on a year pretty soon. But even then, it's just like, I think about the weight I've lost. I think about how good I feel. I think about like my skin and how amazing my skin is and how awake I feel and refreshed and how I don't feel like shit all the time and I'm making better choices. I'm a lot more aware. I'm thinking better. I'm memorizing better. I like all the positives. And then I think about, let's have a pint of beer. Do I really want to? Do I really want to risk all those positives just for like this taste of negative for 2 hours? I don't know. It's really weird. It's really weird. I'm still working through it. But I just thought I would share my story of why I stopped drinking and the stupid decisions that you make when you're drunk. Like, I still think back and I'm just like, who is that person? Who decided, like, I'm not a person that drives drunk, period. And for me to make that uncharacteristic decision because of alcohol, just like, I don't know, I just feel like an overwhelming sense of guilt because so much bad shit could have happened. And luckily it didn't. But then again, it's just like, why are you such a fucking idiot? I don't know. It's just something that still like haunts me to this day. Like when I hear shit, my uncle got hit by a driver under the influence. My mom just recently got rear-ended by someone who was under the influence. It's like every day I'm reminded of this dumb mistake that I made, and I can't not feel guilty. Does that make sense? Like, I feel so much shame that I made that dumb decision, but I'm learning from it. I don't know, man. I'm getting to the point where like I'm kind of rambling and not really saying much of anything, so I think I'll cut this off. But that's essentially what I wanted to come on here and say, and hopefully inspire somebody, make someone reevaluate their relationship with alcohol, and kind of give you a reason why I stopped drinking. Because I know some of y'all are nosy and want to know. Okay, cut this off. Maybe I'll do some more of these in the future. I'm really thinking about vlogging, but I'm just thinking about the editing. And I follow vloggers on Instagram and shit like that. And like the amount of time they spend editing, it's like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to edit. I don't want to be like stuck to my phone editing a video for hours on end, and it doesn't seem right. Anyway, thanks for watching. I will see you guys later.